In this video, I'm going to show you 10 technologies which are completely insane. And each one is going to be even more extreme than the one before.
The Alfie Whattam podcast.
Starting at number 10, we have a new smartwatch device, which many people are saying is the Apple Watch killer.
Essentially, this is a Huawei Watch Buds. It's a combination between a smartwatch and wireless earphones. So they can be stored and charged within the actual watch. It kind of opens up and you can put earphones inside there. New concept. Now, some people are saying this innovation is the future. Some are saying it's just a gimmick. I'm not sure, to be honest, but it's an interesting concept.
It looks very, very luxurious. Whether it's going to work, I don't know.
It's got a spy feel to it. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I don't know if it's like if it's either like really genius or it's just because the thing about having a smartwatch, the problem is the battery. Like you got to charge this thing every night basically, and that's going to drain the battery even more by having something else that it's charging, I imagine. And then I don't know about the quality of the AirPods.
I think of it as sort of a Venn diagram where there's the circle of people who want a smartwatch, a circle of people who want earbuds, and then where they intersect, and then there is a smaller subset of people is like, I don't care about the battery life, as you said. Yeah. I don't care about the sound quality. I just want fewer things in my pocket and I want to charge fewer things. So that's the total addressable market size of this watch particularly.
The one thing I did think that when I was looking at it with the video was like, well, I'd probably lose the earbuds pretty well straight away, but then I've got a convenient place to store Tic Tacs.
Next up, at number 9, we have a massive 3D printer which can literally print houses.
The concept basically is it can replace the typical construction being involved. You can, download a house from an architect, presumably, press a button, and then boom, it starts printing out the house. You could have multiple copies of that. I think Elon Musk was living in a 3D printed box house for a while. I'm not sure if it's still there. Definitely very Elon. But there it is with the paste, with the material, building this concept, this structure. And people are saying in theory this could revolutionize the world. You could build in perhaps third world countries where you need, low cost housing. You could, get millions of these out.
I think if you can build the infrastructure just to support it, and it's more cost effective than current manufacturing methods. I think the market will always adapt to that kind of thing, like prefab houses and stuff. This is really an area I don't know a lot of, is construction and building. But as far as I understand how houses are built now compared to how they used to build, it's like a lot of it is like you can get prefab stuff, right? Which is kind of an evolution of where it was. This seems like one step further. Yeah. So yes, I see that in terms of like being able to 3D print stuff in your own home just to fix things or have small things. Like that's a reality now. Like as far as I understand, like 3D printing equipment is not that expensive.
It's like the most interesting thing to me, space, because it is like the final frontier. Like everything's blockchain, AI. It gets me very, very excited. But space is just like, it's just beyond everything else.
At number 8, we have a creepy new virtual reality application.
You can pop on a VR, sort of AR mixed reality headset, and you can click a button and see memories that you've recorded before in the past. So there's a very cute memory of a baby. Everyone loves babies. And there they are in the living room. Obviously pretty interesting tech, pretty groundbreaking innovation.
Yeah, no, it's good tech. It's interesting. I think I see good use cases for it. It is, I guess, that next generation in terms of, it's videos and, photos and so on. And I think I can see it being used in, I guess, like, the social media sphere as well. But yeah, I do actually, I like it.
Oh boy, I think it's creepy. And I think it's going to make us much lonelier as humans, especially when the baby disappears.
Yes.
Like when he tries to touch the baby, but the baby's not there.
It's a hologram.
And then he switches it off and it disappears. And maybe the recording was like 30 years ago and the baby's an adult now and they don't call anymore.
I can see good uses for it, specifically in mental health, maybe possibly trying to really help people who suffer from anxiety, depression, and I know there are quite a few deployments of that tech in educating people and helping people as well. But I do agree that there needs to be a border between the real life and this life, and some people might lose out on that. And I can see it a little bit in my son as well on a personal story.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a growing market.
Coming in at number 7, we have insane flying helicopters, which are brought to you by Uber.
Pop into your Uber app, click the button, and then rather than the Ford Fiesta pulling up to pick you up, you need to, I'm assuming, walk to an area where they have these things. And it looks like a very, very futuristic helicopter type transport device where you pop in and you will fly to your destination.
As a geek by virtue by trade, I would say I would love these becoming a reality.
Yeah.
But I can see the amount of hurdles they have to jump down.
Oh yeah.
Because safety of the people at ground level.
Yeah.
Thinking about the routes they're gonna take, they're gonna start entering in the mindsets that normal flights have. There has to be lots of planning.
Yeah.
So there is, I would say, a few magnitudes of.
Oh man, a few. There's a lot of like roadblocks, right, and things that need to happen.
I think it's a great concept, but they just have to get it right.
Yeah.
Who is going to be liable for anything that happens?
Yes.
It's all based on vulnerabilities. Make sure there are no vulnerabilities that can introduce people to come in and break in and hack in.
Yes.
So that's very critical. So
I think there is lots of activity there, obviously, using technology and lots of variants of these vehicles, etc. I am all up for automation, but using technology to support human beings.
Next up, at number 6, we have Meta's new augmented reality glasses.
Yeah, we have a lady walking down the street with some cool sunglasses on, and then you can just tap a little button and it will take a picture of them instantly on your stories. I believe that's why they're called the Meta Stories for Instagram. That's the stories. It's quite spontaneous. Bunch of skateboarders. I don't see that happening day to day, but you can do video as well. So this is just video and also audio there, so she can talk using Siri or whatever the Meta version is, and then that will obviously start recording.
As you mentioned, Google Glass didn't exactly land well, wasn't a success. I kind of feel that there's probably space for it in the market. I think AR could be really interesting in that space, but personal wearables and I don't know. I'd be interested to see what they do with it.
I quite like this idea. I think there's a really big space for content creators and influencers right now, especially within Meta. You've got all the people who do reels and live videos and stuff like that, and it's a big way people are making money at the moment. I think a lot of influencers and content creators may potentially be quite interested in this.
Kind of like takes me back to my childhood, so it's almost like a spy gadget kind of thing, like camera on your face. I feel like it's got its kind of niche purpose. I think like one of the main things for me is around like the safety element of it as well. So like if you're kind of displaying all that information on like your glasses and stuff, making sure that people are aware of the surroundings, because like you look at like Google Maps where they've got like the live capability where you can point around and see your surroundings and that kind of thing. And if I remember rightly, they kind of like disable that feature if you are moving, to make sure that you're just not walking out into the road because you're too focused on like, the screen. And I think there's definitely elements of like the kind of like the safety element there of the users.
I mean, from a content creation perspective, it's like the perfect tool. You don't have to carry around a camera. It's just always on your face, and you just press a button or say the magic words, and then boom, someone's on video.
We are now halfway through this list, so if you're still watching, then make sure you click the subscribe button below. At number 5, we have the most advanced video game graphics which you have ever seen.
This is showing like a first-person perspective. It almost looks like you've got a body cam on. Just like the graffiti. I mean, that looks pretty insane. You can kind of tell it's a video game. There is a little bit later where he kind of jumps and then it becomes a bit more obvious. But if I showed this to you and just said, hey, here's a clip, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't know this was a video game. Now you can tell when he jumps like that. I think it's kind of it becomes a little obvious. But we're seeing with like the Unreal Engine just how crazy it's getting, and this probably isn't available on your Nintendo Switch, right? You need something a little bit more powerful to be able to play this. But
fascination as well, and some worries. Fascination. I mean, just think about the possibilities of training doctors, training pilots, teaching your children risks, make them exploratory, discovery oriented, all of that. I think that's fantastic, right?
Yeah, of course it's exciting for games and entertainment. When you combine it with this drone idea, if we can swap, let's say, textures, if someone is interested into this house, but we have a data about how it's built, we can with client see what will be your vision after you buy it, after you paint it. That's amazing.
The thing that got me on this was this might be my age as I'm getting older, but it kind of was very scary watching that clip of someone really like shooting someone and it looking so realistic, and like kind of frightened me.
When that drops and you have these graphics in, where do people go in GTA? They go to the strip club. they go and punch people randomly on the street. They chasing away from the police and having helicopters chasing them. I mean, it's going to be insane. I mean, the game must be amazing. Otherwise, people are going to be very disappointed after seeing something like this.
Coming in at number 4, we have AR glasses, which literally allow you to see through walls.
These are MIT researchers who have developed this augmented reality application, which allows you to essentially see through walls and boxes using RFID tags. So, this could be used in like a warehouse to locate items, or maybe even at home if you're the type of person that loses their keys or their wallet or whatever. And the AR will show where the product is, allowing you to see through walls, doors, boxes, whatever, to identify where different products are.
I think my initial reaction to that was definitely just privacy and concerns. It seems to kind of neglect this movement that we have around technology being overly invasive. And I do worry about that with a suite of technologies, not just that one.
Yeah.
I think that was my initial reaction.
I don't really see this becoming a mass market adoption thing.
Sure.
I'm not even that convinced. I mean, certainly the lady in that photo didn't look like she was striding with purpose to the place where the thing she was trying to find was. So it's clearly not perfect, and I'm not sure it's going to revolutionize warehouses anytime soon. Versus, say, like a handheld scanner that like beeps when you go over the right box.
Yeah.
The technology is interesting. RFID tags are interesting. Everything around them. Well, my first problem was again around privacy. I think I thought that was something that's not being discussed, but somehow those things are again clickbait. They want to just be thrown out there, so relate to something that we use in every day.
There's probably going to be a couple of really good use cases that come from this.
Next up, at number 3, we have a crazy 3D body scanning technology.
This new technology allows you to scan an individual, like this chap standing on the stage, from different directions, and then using this 3D technology, instantly, magically even, you can put that person into a game. So you can select a character, you see how it's changing colours on the individuals on the screen, and then if they pick that person, boom, click a button, and that will change the character to the person that was being scanned. So you can now be in the NBA without having to have any of the skills, which is perfect for me because I can't slam a basketball to save my life. There he is close up, there's the crowd, they're going crazy, they're going insane. Is it for the AI? Is it for the basketball? Or is it for both? There he is, celebrating, slam dunk, Kobe. It happens. That is incredible technology from a 3D, almost AR perspective, you could even say. But crazy to see where this is going and the potential that it could have in the future.
I suppose, first of all, I'm trying to understand how it works. So it sort of reminds me of the, when you take a sort of panoramic photo, you sort of, how it works is it stitches different photos together.
Yes.
So that's how I would assume this would work in some way. The guy who was recording, he was going around the
circle.
Sort of,
yes,
in a circle, and he was basically taking a video. Imagine what it's doing is it's piecing together photos and obviously building a kind of image or 3D image of the person.
I think it's very cool because you don't get to play in those sort of tournaments and then with those players.
Yeah.
And it will be pretty cool if you can actually take your 3D avatars and then you can get into the game.
Yeah.
Then play with your friends or family.
Yes.
I think it's cool. It's fun.
It's funny because when we all watch the clip and then you ask us our views, I feel like one of those sports pundits when we have to give a play-by-play commentary on what happened. Very cool. I mean, it's obviously one of those applications of 3D scanning that you hope would exist one day.
I think one thing that will be cool is the gamification side of betting. Like, you can bet on yourself. If you put you as David Beckham and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna bet that I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna, you put some real money on there or some Bitcoin, and then boom, you're winning. It'll be fun to see where that goes.
At number 2, we have a sneak peek of the future of VR graphics.
Here's a demo which they showed at a recent Meta Connect event, showing that it looks just like an actual video of Mr. Zuck, when in reality this is scanned, this is mapped, and this is created, and hopefully in virtual reality you'll be able to have a conversation with a person and not a cartoon figure. There it is under the hood.
I think it is exciting and scary, and the reason I think it's exciting, yes, but it's scary because it's easy to be manipulated.
Yeah, deep fakes,
etc., and things like that, and slightly maybe slight misleading people.
Yeah, I still don't really understand the real use case. Maybe I'm too skeptical.
Sure.
But I was trying to think, what is the killer feature here? Maybe it's to do with seeing people, having kind of virtual meetings, taking that to the next level. I guess video calls, you have just the visual side and the sound. You feel with VR you feel more immersed, kind of 3D visuals.
I think despite all of this, recreating reality, it's not reality, and that's the problem. I mean, that's what you're getting at. It's not as good, is it, as us sitting here having this conversation.
Now, before we reveal our winner, let me tell you about this video's sponsor. If you're looking to hire software engineers in the UK, then you need to check out my company, Alpha Recruitment. We can find you the top 1% of software developers who are searching for new opportunities. Just go to welovealpha.com now. The link will be in the description. And finally, at number 1, we have an incredible futuristic city which is being built right now in Saudi Arabia.
This is a project called The Line in Saudi Arabia, and essentially it puts together an entire city on scale into a line, essentially. So 9 million residents will be living in this thing when it's completed. It's massive, and it stretches across a vast land in a line. It looks very, very futuristic. Obviously, this is a CGI video, right? This is not showing what it actually looks like. It's a concept, but they're trying to make neighborhoods that are 5 minutes, so you don't have to walk around everywhere. Everything's local, everything's together. You can travel from one end to the other end in 20 minutes. Obviously, the fastest way to go from point A to point B is a straight line, hence the concept. And they're trying to make it very, very environmentally friendly, with autonomous services and vehicles, and eco-friendly and no emissions. The flying around CGI part is obviously marketing and hype for this video, right? But you've got to have a little bit of it. It's massive, 170 and mirror glass facade. I feel really sorry for the birds that might fly into this thing, if there are any birds in that desert. But I mean, it looks cool, it looks interesting. It definitely looks very futuristic and sci-fi. But a lot of these projects often stay visions for forever and they never actually get executed on. They are starting to do construction on this. It's definitely underway, but it'll be interesting to see if they can actually pull it off and make it a reality.
I think possibly, as a curious person, it would be interesting to see it. We have an interesting perspective on history around what is a wonder of the world, right? We're not building and thinking of things as a new wonder of the world. And I think we probably should. That's an audacious thing to build, and if it's successful, I think that's a wonder of the world. So would I want to see it? Yes. Would I want to live there? Probably, to Fred's point, no.
It's definitely audacious. It's definitely running into challenges on budget. But remember, there are examples of cities being built in the desert. One is Las Vegas,
Dubai.
Dubai. Are they successful? In some sense, I would would definitely say yes. It is exciting to see, and even if it achieves 20 or 30%, as Ari say, I think it'll be quite an achievement.
If it ends up looking like that, and I don't know, maybe it'd be a fun place to go and stay and check it out. But who knows? Could you live there? I think there's a thing with these kind of like creating cities and new towns. Or like the best thing about living in London, for example, is some of the history and the culture you've got, and how much can you manufacture that straight away. And I don't know. I think that would be very difficult to do, especially if there's only a bunch of rich people living there. That might be quite boring.
It's great to see people trying to be brave and build big projects, regardless of if they're going to be successful or not. It's definitely bold and ambitious, isn't it? So it'd be cool to track this one and see where it goes.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.